Down the rabbit hole we go. Part 16. If the synthetic overlay collapses when enough people wake up, then what will actually replace it? And who or what benefits from keeping it in place? All right. Everyone keeps asking about this ritual because this time of year is the best time to manifest.
Grand Rising family, welcome to a Lady Boss Energy where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other to get shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think might enjoy watching this or who you think needs to see this, share it with them. These videos are for entertainment purposes. I'm not responsible for what you do or don't believe. Take what you do, believe, and leave what you don't. I have parts 14, 15, and 16 of the lady that has scientific proof to explain the simulation we are living in. And I also have a couple extra videos from her on here. I just like her content. I like her content. So as she keeps making these parts, I'm going to keep bringing them. Also, I have 2 videos that I have put together that I'm going to show on Friday. And then on Saturday, I love true crime. Like, you cannot tell me nothing. I can binge watch some true crime for hours. I love true crime. And so I'm trying to like play around with my channel and find content that people actually enjoy watching. You know, I can only show so many videos of telling you the things to do within yourself to be a better person. At some point, I gotta be done telling you. I may or may not have a video with some conspiracy theories on it, but I think it's important to bring awareness to the people. And yeah, you have great content creators out there, but if you don't know what you're looking for, and let's just say like you are curious and you don't know where to begin, but you're subscribed to my channel and something pops up, that could spark your awakening. And then I can guide you to other great content creators. The greatest content creator, in my opinion, is the channel I Am QHef. His perspectives are real and honest, and he's about love. He's about respecting each other's opinion, and just because you agree doesn't mean I have to, and just because I agree doesn't mean you have to. He comes from a perspective of like, your perspective is just as valid as my perspective, and I believe that we share a lot of the same energy. Like, I believe the same thing. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean we can't get along. Doesn't mean we have to fight and argue about it. It's good to have different perspectives on things, because I might have a perspective that you are like, oh shit, I didn't even think of it like that before. Or, you know what I mean? So it's always great to have an open mind to not just your perspective, but to other people's perspectives. Because, you know, we think like, oh, I believe this, so this is how it is. Not realizing that our beliefs change every single day, and majority of our beliefs have been programmed into us. Majority of our beliefs came from somebody else and what they believed, and it sounded good, so we're like, yeah, I'm going to believe that too. Have your own mind. Think for yourself. Let's do today's affirmations. Happiness is a choice. I base my happiness on my accomplishments and radiance. Well, it says blessings, but I don't use that word anymore. So it's blessings. So if I say radiance, it's replaced with blessings. List out recent accomplishments and radiance to remind yourself the happiness within. Also, I'm going to be dropping this tomorrow, which is Christmas. I'm choosing not to celebrate holidays anymore. But if you do celebrate holidays still, Merry Christmas. I hope that you have the peace within that you deserve. And I hope that you feel loved when you're surrounded by the people that you love the most. I hope next year is a better year for you, even though the real New Year's isn't until April 1st. That's why it's called April Fool's. But anyways, Merry Christmas. And so let's do it. Let's get straight into it.
Down the rabbit hole we go. Part 14. Okay, if you're watching 14, it means you are ready for next level, because everything we've learned so far all has led to this. We're diving way deeper into the sacred geometry and the fractal keys, the original matrix versus the synthetic overlay, and how the original human template is reawakening right now through you. And before you roll your eyes and scroll, you know I brought the scientific research and the ancient historical research to back this up. All right, let's go. Scientists across several fields, studying complex systems, fractal geometry, and others, all noticed something strange. Every living system, from your lungs to the branches on trees, to river deltas to neural networks, all follow the exact same mathematical repeating pattern. This is called a fractal attractor. But here's the part that most people don't know. When researchers modeled a fully synthetic artificial environment, like an AI-generated simulation, the structure was different. It didn't match nature's fractals. Instead of organic self-similarity, it formed rigid loops, feedback cycles with no true randomness. So what does that mean? It means the reality that you and I live in right now has two overlapping grids. The organic matrix, fractal, conscious, self-generating, and the synthetic overlay, linear, extractive, and limiting. And you are slipping between the two. Your DNA isn't just biological. It acts like a quantum antenna. Biophysicists have found that our DNA absorbs and emits coherent light, actual measurable photons. And those photons follow the same geometry found in sacred geometry, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, ancient templates, crop circles, structural layouts like the Giza pyramid complex. This is why ancient initiates called DNA the ladder between worlds. When your emotional state reaches coherence, your DNA literally tightens its helix and creates a stronger electromagnetic field. You become a transmitter, a tuner, a projector. Your body is actually one of the fractal keys. The original human was not a primitive being. Ancient mystery schools protected this knowledge. Original humans were a biophotonic, multidimensional interface designed to operate fully in the organic matrix. But then the synthetic overlay suppressed clairvoyance, timeline memory, telepathic bandwidth, multidimensional perception, emotional alchemy, and light body regeneration. Now, as the solar cycles intensify and the resonance of Earth rises, your system is coming back online. All the timeline jumps, all the synchronicities, gifts coming online. You're not changing, you're restoring. And nature has been showing us the blueprint all along. Every ancient site encoded the same message. And the message is, reality is a fractal projection. You are the projector. Remember the pattern. Reclaim the system. It's hidden right there in the pyramids, the petroglyphs, the mandalas, stone circles, mythology, because they knew. They knew that one day humanity would forget. Step into the synthetic grid and need that breadcrumb trail to find their way back out. This series is your breadcrumb trail. So, if you're still here, I need you to proclaim in the comments, I reclaim the system. And if you really want to keep going, hit me with the part 15. Because if the organic matrix is returning and the original human template reactivating, then who or what built the synthetic overlay? And why does it collapse when enough people wake up? Activation complete. It's rabbit hole time. Part 15. If the organic matrix is coming back online and the original human template is reactivating, then here's the real question no one wants to ask. Who or what built the synthetic overlay in the first place? And why can't it survive the Great Awakening? And before you roll your eyes and scroll, you know I brought the scientific research and ancient history research to back this up. All right, let's go. Right off the bat, let's dissolve some fear. The synthetic overlay wasn't evil. It was a byproduct. The synthetic overlay wasn't created by monsters. It emerged from fragmented consciousness. When awareness collapses into survival, control, and separation, reality organizes itself into linear systems, rigid, extractive, repetitive. Physics calls this entropy dominance. Complex systems theory calls it feedback lock-in. Translation, when consciousness forgets its connection, it will build structures that reflect that forgetting. The synthetic overlay is what reality looks like when intelligence loses coherence. So how did the overlay take hold in the first place? The overlay didn't replace the organic matrix. It sat on top of it like a compression layer. Think of it like this. The organic matrix is open source, fractal, living code. The synthetic overlay is a closed loop. It is efficiency-based code. It is linear time, scarcity systems, hierarchies, disconnection from nature, total identity fragmentation. Not because humanity was trapped, but because coherence dropped below a critical threshold. This is mirrored in neuroscience. When the brain is stressed or traumatized, it switches from integrated processing to rigid survival loops. Reality did the same thing. But do not fear, because here's the key that changes everything. The synthetic overlay cannot survive the awakening. The overlay requires unconscious participation. It only functions when humans outsource their intuition, attention is fragmented, fear becomes the driver and it overrides coherence, and you stay convinced that your identity is completely externalized. Awakening restores signal integrity. Scientific studies on coherence, heart-brain synchronization, and collective resonance shows that when enough individuals stabilize into awareness, the entire system reorganizes. In physics, this is called phase transition. When our individual frequency collectively rises up past a specific threshold, the old structure isn't destroyed. It simply loses relevance. Ouch. And it's so important to note that this collapse is happening in a completely passive and neutral way. The synthetic overlay doesn't collapse through war or force. It collapses because it simply becomes obsolete, just like outdated software, abandoned platforms, and old belief systems. When people stop believing in scarcity, it stops working. When people remember their sovereignty, it stops controlling. When people reconnect to nature, it stops extracting. Nothing dramatic needs to happen. Collectively, we rise, and the outdated old system fades away. So why are we seeing this happen now? You're not imagining the cracks. We are all seeing institutions destabilize, old narratives fragment, people's identities dissolving. The old timeline is losing its grip because the organic matrix is self-correcting. As enough nervous systems get into coherence, the deeper original architecture reasserts itself. The system doesn't punish awakening. Stop believing that it does. It simply responds to it. Woo! You guys, these rabbit holes. If you made it this far, comment, "I am awakened." And if you are dying for more, hit me with a part 16 in the comments. Because if the synthetic overlay collapses when enough people wake up, what would a fully restored organic matrix actually look like? How would societies function? Would time behave differently? How would humanity live? And who or what benefits from keeping the synthetic overlay intact? All of that coming in part 16, and it changes everything. Activation complete. Down the rabbit hole we go. Part 16. If the synthetic overlay collapses when enough people wake up, then what will actually replace it? And who or what benefits from keeping it in place? Let's go there. And before you roll your eyes and scroll, I brought the scientific research and the ancient history research to back this up. All right, let's go. So who benefits from a synthetic overlay? Here's the truth most people miss. The synthetic overlay doesn't benefit a group. It benefits low coherence systems. In physics, biology, and history, systems with low energy efficiency rely on extraction versus regeneration, hierarchy instead of resonance, and control instead of cooperation. Anthropologists call this centralized survival architecture. Systems theorists call it top-down rigidity, and neuroscientists call it trauma-based looping. The overlay benefits from systems that require repetitiveness, predictability, structures that depend on attention capture, and models that can't survive adaptability. Not beings, not souls, outdated operating systems. And this isn't new. The Hindu Yuga cycles, the Mayan calendar, Plato's ages, and Egyptian Zep Tepi all describe the same pattern. First, a high coherence civilization, then fragmentation, then over-centralization, loss of natural law alignment, and then reset and transition. In Atlantis, this is described as misuse of crystal and grid technology, not evil, but an imbalance. In Sumerian records, it's described as humans forgetting the cosmic order, and in Greek philosophy, it's the fall from logos into control. Every time coherence drops, a synthetic layer forms. Every time coherence rises, that layer dissolves. At the end of the day, the synthetic layer cannot control the organic matrix. There are key differences. First of all, the organic matrix is non-linear. Modern science proved this. Fractal systems can't be centrally controlled. Emergent intelligence reorganizes from the bottom up, and coherent fields self-correct without force. This is why every attempt to rigidly control nature has failed every time. The organic matrix runs on resonance, local intelligence, self-organization, and relational awareness, which boils down to no single node can control the rest. And that is why it's returning. So how can we combat the synthetic overlay without fighting it? This is important. You don't fight the synthetic overlay. You starve it of its relevance. Biology already shows how coherent heart rhythms stabilize the brain, a regulated nervous system restores perception, and collective coherence shifts entire electromagnetic fields. Studies on the Schumann resonance, heart-brain synchronization, and group meditation effects show measurable environmental changes when coherence increases. In simplest terms, presence, being in the present moment, disrupts control. Awareness dissolves illusion. Coherence collapses loops. You don't have to resist the system. You simply outgrow it. So what would a restored organic matrix even look like? This part excites people the most. In a stabilized organic matrix, society is decentralized naturally. Technology supports biology rather than replacing it. Time becomes experiential, not rigid. Creativity replaces extraction, and intuition returns as a valid intelligence. Ancient cultures called this Satya Yuga, Zep Tepi, the Golden Age, and the First World. It's not a fantasy. It's a phase state of civilization. Woo! So, if the organic matrix restores itself through our coherence and the synthetic overlay collapses by becoming obsolete, then the next and maybe most important question is, what role do you play right now in stabilizing this new timeline? If you made it this far, comment, "I am in coherence." And if you're ready, give me a part 17 in the comments.
She did not have part
Activation
17
complete.
yet, so
We interrupt
that's
this
what I got.
regularly scheduled rabbit hole because there's some major astrological things happening right now. And the timing couldn't be more symbolic. And before you roll your eyes and scroll, you know I brought the scientific and historical research to back this up. All right, let's go. We are heading into the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, the ancient turning point, the moment that cultures all over the world believe the sky resets. And right as we enter the solstice window, we have the interstellar messenger 3i Atlas entering our inner solar system. Plus, we have a new moon, and this time of year is known to be the 12 most magical nights of the year. By the way, if you're new to astrology or you're getting into astrology, my favorite go-to app is Astrolife. This app is like no other, and I use it a lot for my own personal astrology and research. So we have 3i Atlas entering our inner solar system. This is only the third ever recorded in history interstellar object detected by humans. It came from somewhere else entirely. Another star system, another timeline, another dimension. The timing of this couldn't have been a coincidence, obviously because there are no coincidences, but here's where the science gets wild. I started looking up the timing on the charts of the solstice, and what I found was honestly shocking. Like the timing was speaking directly to this moment. So anything interstellar travels on a hyperbolic orbit, meaning it isn't tied to the sun, it passes through. Quantum physics research, like quantum entanglement, shows us that distance doesn't disconnect information. Particles can remain entangled across galaxies. So if something from outside of our solar system enters our field, it interacts with us physically, symbolically, and consciously. And being aligned with the solstice just amplifies this. Ancient civilizations believed that the solstice was a cosmic portal, and the Mayans and the Druids and the Egyptians, they all saw comets as a messenger. So all at the same time, we have the solstice, we have this interstellar messenger entering our field, and the new moon shadow phase beginning. The timing is chef's kiss. The solstice marks the rebirth of light. Three-Eye Atlas brings a message from beyond. And by using astrology, you can map where the message lands in your personal life. And by the way, if you don't believe in astrology, think it's silly, think you're just checking out your horoscope, well, there's a famous quote by J.P. Morgan. He said, millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. So yeah. So why do you think this interstellar messenger is entering our inner solar system at the exact time of the solstice during a global awakening and the last new moon of the year as we enter the 12 most magical days of the year? Gee, isn't it funny that there's all these religious holidays around this time? It's all too much to be random. If you want to know more, or if you want a ritual for these 12 magical nights, because remember, the word ritual is in spiritual, let me know in the comments. Activation complete. All right. Everyone keeps asking about this ritual because this time of year is the best time to manifest for the 12 months to come. So save this video because I'm going to walk you through this super simple ritual and I'm going to show you how to make it super personalized. All right, let's go. According to ancient tradition, the 12 days after the winter solstice represent the 12 zodiac houses, meaning each day is a portal that shapes one area of your life for the year ahead. So here's what you're going to do. Starting on whatever day you see this video, and for the next 12 days after, you're going to take a few minutes each day and write down exactly what you want to activate in each house. I'm going to show you the pattern, so take a screenshot now. And if you really want to personalize this, you can use my favorite app, Astralife. Click on the Ask Me Anything tab, and I'm going to put the exact prompt in the description of this video, so you can copy and paste it there. And this prompt is going to help you break down exactly what you should be manifesting and activating each day in each house, according to your personal birth chart. And you know I have to bring a little science into this. Neuroscience research has proven that the brain rewires through repetition, emotion, and intention. So 12 days is the perfect pattern to anchor in a new frequency into your nervous system. And at the end of this ritual, you will have a personalized map for your 2026. That's it. 5 minutes a day, 12 days. Transformation doesn't have to be complicated, and you're not doing it alone. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you are definitely manifesting for 2026? Claim it now, and let's all support each other. And if you guys like these kinds of videos, these rituals, let me know in the comments, and I'll get you some more. Activation complete.
There you have it. I don't do rituals. I don't really know if that's a good word to use for it, because when people think of rituals, we think, you know, satanic, and we think like negative stuff. But she's right. Ritual is in the word spiritual. So if you are spiritual, they only tell us about the negative ones. They never tell us about the good ones, or how to use them properly, or how to go about how. That's a journey that you must take on your own time. Whatever your spirit is guiding you to do through life, like me with these videos, choosing to take a different route on what I'm going to show. I think Saturdays are going to be like my true crime days, where I show like all true crime videos. Like I said, I'm trying to play around with this to see what works. I definitely want to bring awareness. I definitely want to help other people awaken, because it's beautiful here. It's magical. And, you know, the beginning phase, it is uncomfortable. But the more work you do within yourself, and the more you realize that you were the problem the whole time, the easier it becomes. Because, you know, once you break through a certain barrier of spirituality, and I hate how people are like, oh, spirituality is a trend. No, it's not. It is a way of life. It was the way we were created to be. But you do have to be careful on what you allow yourself to ingest, because you will ingest the wrong information. I know in the beginning I definitely did, but I was aware that, I absorb things, and if I'm not absorbing the right things, it can get dark very quickly. So just be mindful of, what you are allowing yourself to take in through your ears, through your eyes, through your energy, the people you're around, and it's all gonna be all right. We're all gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I don't really feel like we are in the new year. Well, I know we're not. I know that the new year doesn't start till April, so I'm not celebrating any of it. I celebrated birthdays this year, and I let every single one of my kids know, like, hey, I'm not doing birthdays anymore. I'm not doing birthdays. I'm not doing holidays. I gave everybody birthday gifts, and that's it. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done partaking in the matrix. I'm done living the way that they tell me I should be living. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I've taken a stand, which we all should do, because I think if enough of us do it, when you see those videos where they do like social experiments, one person, nobody will act until one person acts, and then once one person acts, then another person will act, and then it's sad, but the truth is we don't think for ourselves. We have to see somebody else doing it for us to be like, oh, okay. And not everybody's that way. I'm not that way. I've always been a think outside the box kind of person. I've always, did my own thing. I never followed the crowd. I've never followed trends. I never have been that way, and I never will be. I do what I want to do. I've always done what I wanted to do. So it's easier for me to not follow the crowd. It's easier for me to do the right thing against the what everybody else is doing. And if you're that way, it's okay. Just start working on yourself. You can get better. The only way the world's going to get better is if we do it, if we make our world within ourselves better first, till we heal those dark parts of ourselves that aren't pretty. We got to heal those parts. We got to love them until they're good. And they will. They'll turn. You'll be good. You just got to give yourself time. I know I've been a very impatient person. I've always wanted instant gratification, like right now, which was a big reason why I faced a lot of the problems and hardships that I did in my life, because I'm like, I want it now. I don't want to wait. And I will tell you this, the divine is definitely giving me opportunities to become patient. And I'm just being patient. I'm being patient with all of it. Gotta be. Great things aren't rushed. Thank you for tuning in to Lady Boss Energy, where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other. Let's get shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think needs to see this or you think would enjoy watching this, share it with them. I hope you have an amazing 24 and the best 7 yet. And I pray the divine radiates love and kindness and abundance and peace and joy and all the things over your life. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Till I see you on the next one. I love you.